Hey everyone, thanks very much for joining me today. Welcome to ASX Market Watch, of course. We're checking out all the indices again today, just from a chartist point of view, basically looking to give you an idea of where the charts are heading, again from a chartist point of view. I'm sure you get heaps of fundamental data or even brokers' reports and that sort of thing in your own trading or in your own investing. This is just an opportunity to have a look at where the world is heading according to the charts from one chartist's point of view. And we look at a lot of different tools and a lot of tools that actually have worked over history. So it's a great opportunity to have a look and see where the world is heading. Guys, I'm going to try and make it really quick because not a lot has changed from last week. So let's get straight into it. We're looking at all around the world, all the indices around the world today. So stay tuned. There's a lot going on. First one we're looking at is the ASX Top 200. Really simple stuff. This is a daily chart. Each one of these bars is one single day. Now, if we were to look at this from the top of the bull market to the bottom of the bear market, we've got our downtrend line. And last week what we said was that we wanted the market to close above 4,700. That's this level here, and that would be a trigger for our next solid run up. Why is that? Because what we're finding here at the moment is resistance at the long-term trend line. Now that is something that happens quite a lot, guys. Resistance, support and resistance is something that's offered by trend lines in the future. It's a great tool, and that's exactly what is happening at the moment. As you can see, here it is. It has not been able to close above it as yet, and yet the market is just consolidating just below this downtrend line. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, guys, it's not looking entirely healthy. This one single bar, obviously, it's not something that I really like. It's it started in the middle, went high, went up to 4,700 exactly, actually, almost exactly, and then closed well on its lows, and that was the single bar that turned the market at the moment. So, I mean, in all honesty, we're still looking at consolidation below that downtrend line. We still need it to close above that downtrend line and close above 4,700 on the ASX Top 200 for us to be in a bit more clear waters. And we also gave you a target, like a really quick target last week. If it did do that, what we'd be looking at would be around about 5,000 again. So the potential for the market to go to 5,000 if it closes above that level is fairly strong based on short-term Elliott wave. Jumping right along, we'll quickly jump into the Dow Jones. Dow Jones is a great one. Again, nothing much has changed on the Dow Jones either. With this one, we've still got our massive support at 10,000, and we were calling that the market would rise simply because it could not fall. Now, support and resistance, you guys probably know about that. Obviously, you've got support. About 7 times it's bounced off this level at 10,000. 10,000 also being a round number, guys. So round number, people psychologically tend to find support and resistance at round numbers. Now the market is heading up just as we thought it would, simply because it could not fall. Again, we had a fairly short-term projection for the Dow Jones being from 11,000 to 11,600. Now, again, short-term projection, that one. And the market, I think on Friday, closed at around, what was it? 10,822 to 29 or something similar to that. So again, what the Dow Jones is doing is consolidating around the downtrend line, and basically that's where all the markets around the world are doing. They're all converging again together. The economies, even though they're doing different things, they're all heading in extremely similar directions, guys, and the markets around the world will tend to do this. They've done it for decades, possibly even hundreds of years. I don't have hundreds of years of data. I've got about 150 years, but yeah, basically it's quite incredible stuff when you get into it. So again, Dow Jones, target 11,000, 11,600 based on short-term Elliott wave. Looking at consolidation at the downtrend line, that's why we're consolidating at the moment, guys, instead of rising greatly. So I hope that makes sense. Next one is the FTSE. This is again a daily chart. And again, nothing much has changed since last week. But if you for those savvy amongst you, what are we seeing? Look at that. Beautiful. That square is not really very square, but what can you do? It's consolidation underneath the downtrend line. Now, the best thing about the FTSE, and this is just something that I can't really explain this, but it's one of those gut feelings. The FTSE is looking stronger, and the reason being is we've got a lot of long tails on the downside, so they're closing on their highs. Now, I guess that's what it is. So, I mean, sometimes you get a feeling and you can't explain it, but there are actually ways to explain it. So that would be one of the ways. Also, this little continuation pattern right here is heading upwards, so it's like an upwards triangle. If it breaks out to the upside, it just means that there are more buyers coming in at each consecutively higher level. That's basically a good thing for the FTSE or for stocks in Europe anyway. So based on that, we'd still want the price to break out above the downtrend line, and that would be basically close above around about 5,700 on a solid. Sort of looking at that, you could pretty much have a fair bet that if the market breaks above that, it'll break above its previous high. The reason being is that I find that trend lines are strong support and resistance in the future, and usually if you look at the charts, that will tend to be where the support and resistance is, as opposed to the previous support and resistance, like previous highs. I'm sure it will be there, but I reckon there's a high probability if it breaks out of that downtrend line, will break above the previous high as well. Now, last one is the Hang Seng. Did we have a projection for the FTSE? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. We've just got, based on the previous, if I can get it correctly, I'll just enlarge it a little bit. And again, nothing's changed. We've got on a short-term basis, again, Wave 1, Wave 2. Wave 3 could go anywhere between 5,900 or 5,700 to about 6,100 on a short-term basis as well. And we did some long-term projections last week, guys, as well, just based on projections, Fibonacci and Gann projections as well, which you sort of use to get into your Elliott wave, to make projections based on Elliott wave. They're all tied in together. And again, everything in the markets really is tied in together. When you start to get into it, that's just how the markets work. They really work. They're really all friendly when you think about it. They're basically best mates, and they like to move in the same circles, if you like to put it that way. The last one we're looking at, guys, is the Hang Seng. Really simple stuff. What do we got? Wave 1, Wave 2. This one we've called for ages. This is the best chart. I love the Hang Seng chart simply because it's done exactly what we wanted it to do. And as you can see, we've got our A, B, C correction, and that's basically, if you look on a short-term basis, right here back in early June is where we called this move basically, and we've been calling it ever since. In fact, we're still calling it, and we're calling it to a projection of around 24,000 to 29,000 as an Elliott wave projection. The reason why we did call that is because there's A, B, C correction. 1, 2, 3 moves. They're like waves, 1, 2, 3, and that is usually, if you have a look at it, where we will find the end of a particular move. Also, if you wanted to get fancy, I'll just quickly see if I can add one of these charts. Yes, I can. 1, 2, 3. Almost, and if I did it properly, it probably would be almost spot on, 100% of the previous move. So just getting rid of these little wave things, trend lines that I've drawn in. We've got our move down, move up, and then almost, pretty much bang on, is 100% of the previous move. That would be where you could look for, like if you look into the future, that's where you could expect to find support based on an ABC correction move. But also, where did it find that support? It found it at around number 19,000, almost exactly right on 19,000. So if you combine all these rules, guys, which is what you should be doing in your trading, you should be using all of the knowledge that you have all of the time. Then you combine the rules and you can almost predict the future. It's actually quite a beautiful thing. But I mean, at the very least, you can know that the market is heading up and expect it to head up in the future, or heading down and expect it to heading down in the future. For the Hang Seng's sake, we're looking at, as I said, 24,000 to 28,000 as a projection for the Hang Seng still, and we called it back in June, right around 19,500, about 20,000. So guys, hope that's helped. There's a lot going on in the markets, and not a lot has changed. We're really just, I mean, on the home front, we're just wanting the XJO or the ASX top 200 to get above that downtrend line, please. Yes, some of the stocks are just consolidating. We've had this sideward movement for almost a year now on a longer term basis. Really, the short-term traders would be doing a little bit better. Here's hoping anyway. But investors, really, it hasn't really gone too far, and I'm hoping that this breakout will signal a next solid or a decent move upwards, that we can get some good gains from our stocks. Again, 4,700 is that level to watch, guys. I'll see you next week. There's a lot going on in the markets, and hopefully a lot more going on in the markets. Once we get above that level, that will be the exciting time to check it out. Until then, I will see you next time. Happy trending, guys. Bye for now.